And so it's just, I don't know, it's so crazy, but it makes me think of that when you say
Yeah, it's
the
very
water
scary.
park story.
Heck, when the pavilion used to be here back in the day, because we're locals, and my brother was probably like 3. So he was standing there with my family. We were on a ride, and he was just standing there. And a couple, same thing, couple came by, grabbed his hand, and kept walking. And a couple seconds later, my dad looked around, couldn't find him, saw like some couple like way off in the distance holding his hand, just walking, and he like ran up and got him and was like, what the hell? And they were just kind of like, oh, like they acted like they didn't realize, they thought it was somebody else. I don't know. But I mean, heck, that could have happened to him, and that was years ago. I mean, these are just all these instances that we know about.
I was at Walmart last week when Justin was out of town with the kids, and this man followed me around the store, and I'm like a crazy person when I shop at Walmart. I'm like over here and then over there and over here and over there, and then looking at tank tops and makeup, and like, I mean, I'm all over the place. And that man was everywhere I looked. He was there. There was no reason for him to be looking at tank tops. You know what I mean? And even my 11-year-old was like, we looked at each other. And I like, you have to be hyper vigilant.
You do.
And then I found this really cute, very large college kid that would walk me to my car. So sweet.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't mess around. I waited him out, stared him down.
Well, that's the thing. We don't need to, I mean, even though we should be able to run at 4:30 in the morning, the reality is that there are sickos out there, and you have to be careful. So don't be like, oh, I'm just going to be tough and do it. No, like, you need to be safe. You need to use precaution. Like, I have this issue where I want to go run, but my neighborhood, I don't feel comfortable. I'm right by the highway. It's just kind of like a circle off the highway. And so I'm just like,
nope.
If I want to run, I go to Market Common, or I have to drive somewhere to run. And yeah, you have to be careful. I know a list of kind of like, ways to be careful while you run kind of have come out since this whole thing happened. And it was kind of like,
make sure one ear.
Well, make sure you run in groups, make sure you have some sort of protection like pepper spray or something on you.
Have you seen the new Apple Watch and the new iPhones that are coming out?
No, does it have like a tracker?
It has this whole thing on it, and it has a button that you can push it'll ping you, and it's like an emergency deal.
Oh, wow.
That way, if this kind of thing happens to you, that you can call for help without anybody ever even knowing, really. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if Oprah didn't teach me anything as a child, as a latchkey kid, is that you fight like hell. If anybody ever tries to abduct you, and I tell my kids the same thing, you literally use all your body weight, like go limp, and then you fight like hell, because it's hard picking up 150 pounds of dead weight.
A 2-year-old that is hard to pick up.
Yeah, so, and then you fight like hell, and you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
They try to put you in a car, you fight like hell. You bite, you kick, you scream, you do everything and anything you possibly can.
Well, I know you said, going back to Eliza, I know you said that she fought like hell. How do you know that? Have you seen
The police department said that when they watched the videos, because there's all those closed cameras through the university, that you could see her being abducted and she fought.
Well, I know that when I was reading, articles about this, that when she was abducted, that the car stayed there in the parking lot for like 4 minutes before it drove off. And in my head, I'm imagining her still fighting while it's sitting there. Because, it said that this car followed her, it stopped. The guy ran like a crazy person towards her. They said he ran very aggressively towards her. So, and then, abducted her, but then the car stayed there for another 4 minutes and just sat there before it drove off. And I'm just thinking,
she's doing everything
what
she
were
can
those
to
4 minutes
survive.
like? Yeah, the
hell,
the fight. Yeah, the fight that must have been going on in that car for 4 minutes.
Like you said, I learned from Oprah, never let them take you to a second location.
Never let them. I mean, yeah.
So. Well, obviously, we don't have all the details for this story yet. Things are still coming out. It's a very recent story, but it's a great thing to have a discussion about with women and being hypervigilant again with safety and your children, watching out for your children and yourself, and just being as safe as you can be. Any other thoughts on this, ladies? I know we could go on about this for ever, but Sade and Amy, what do you have to say for folks if we have anybody local that has something like this go on, or they're curious about the process or anything like that? Can they come see us?
Yeah, absolutely. You can come see us, and we'll hold your hand through the process. And if something happens, first let me just say this: our intuition, our gut tells us things all the time, right? And as women, we're told not to buck the system, to be polite, all those things. Screw that, right? So trust, that's like your knowing. That's the universe and God trying to tell you something. That's your spidey sense in life. So listen to it. One. So when something didn't feel right, run. Drop your shit and run. Just don't even worry about it. You protect yourself and you run. You do whatever you got to do to get out of that situation or to alert somebody or whatever. But when these things happen, and even though you weren't abducted, right? So like that family with the water park situation, they didn't even call the police in the beginning. And one of the things I said was, absolutely, you need to call the police. Like, we need to be pulling cameras. We need to put eyes on these people because they can be tied to something else. And when you see it or it happened to you, even though they didn't get you or it just felt wrong, report it. Report it, because it's that report that came in at 6:45 that morning that said, something's not right. I hear somebody struggling. That's what helped lead to look at those cameras at that time. So when you see something, you do something. And when something happens to you, even though it didn't feel like it was anything, but it could have been, report it, because those things matter.
Well, and that's what happened is when she finally got her granddaughter back, she was just so happy to have the granddaughter back. And the story that this couple told was, oh, whatever.
Because we're women. We don't want to buck the system.
She
what
thought,
if I got it
she
wrong?
believed it.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, this was like an honest mistake. And the more she thought about it, and then she posted on this mom's group, and they were all like, you need to call the police. And she did, but it wasn't until later where it really sunk in, like, what the heck just happened. Yeah. But now,
And if it isn't, even if it's a week later, report it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, because, now they've ID'd this couple, and other reports have come out that have seen that same couple at other parks and stuff.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know if they've caught this couple or if they're still out, but they know who to look for. But yeah, that's great advice.
People
Report it.
potentially
Yeah.
be ran over. People like that. Hurt children and women.
Sade, any last
You
thoughts?
should not be in any place with children. I'm sorry. but
Yeah. This world, you should not be in this world. If you hurt babies and
you don't
women,
get to
you
go
go
to water
down.
parks anymore,
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese's. I
I
just
know.
said, let's
Yeah.
say no.
Exactly. Yeah.
Trust your spidey
It does feel like
sense.
that
I do believe
sometimes.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for your input on this very important topic. Folks, you can always, send us your questions or comments. We're going to stay updated on this story as it's, more information is coming out. I'm sure we'll probably do another follow-up on this. You can find us anywhere on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have a ton of informational videos on YouTube as well as our past episodes for the Carolina Justice Report. New episodes come out every Tuesday at 2 p.m. We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching.
When life gets ugly, justice is